The rain came down hard that Thursday night. Thunder rolled across Lagos like drums in the distance. Mrs. Ngozi Okafor sat in the back seat of her black Range Rover, trapped in traffic on the Lekki-Ape Expressway. Her convoy of 3 SUVs couldn't move. Cars honked. Generators hummed from roadside shops. She stared at her phone, reading another board meeting report. Cold. Focused. Untouched by the chaos outside. Then her driver, Musa, tapped the brake suddenly. "Madam, look." She glanced up, annoyed. "What?" He pointed toward a closed bank kiosk under a dim street light. There, on wet cardboard, a teenage boy lay curled on his side. And pressed against his chest were 2 tiny bundles wrapped in plastic bags. Babies. Newborns. Ngozi's breath caught. The babies weren't crying. They were too still. "Madam, it's a setup," Musa said quickly. "Street people do this. They rent babies to beg." But Ngozi wasn't listening. She leaned forward, squinting through the rain-streaked window. Something about those babies pulled at her. She opened the car door. "Madam, wait." "Open the back door," she said, stepping into the rain. Her expensive heels sank into muddy water. She didn't care. She walked toward the boy. Ngozi Okafor was not a woman who stopped for strangers. At 42, she was the CEO of Okafor Group, one of the largest logistics companies in West Africa. She owned 3 estates. She wore designer clothes that never repeated. She moved through Lagos like royalty. But she was alone. Her husband, Chief Emeka Okafor, had died 3 years ago in a car accident. No children. No close family. Just business and silence. People called her the Ice Queen. They said she had no heart. They said money was her only love. And maybe they were right. Her mansion in Banana Island was spotless. White marble floors. Expensive art. Fresh flowers were placed daily. But it was silent. Every night, she sat in her late husband's study, staring at a locked wooden box she'd never opened. Inside were his personal things. Letters. Photos. A watch. She couldn't bring herself to touch them. Now, standing in the rain, staring at 2 newborns wrapped in plastic, something shifted inside her chest. She didn't know why. But she couldn't walk away. The boy stirred. His eyes opened. He saw her and immediately pulled the babies closer. "Don't touch them," he said, voice rough. Ngozi froze. She looked into his eyes. Fear. Exhaustion. Desperation. And something else. Protection. The boy sat up slowly, shielding the babies with his body. He was thin. Maybe 14 or 15. His clothes were torn and soaked. His feet were bare. But his eyes were sharp. Alert. "Please, just go," he said quietly. Ngozi's security stepped closer, hands on their belts. "Madam, let's leave," one of them urged. But Ngozi knelt in the rain, her expensive dress soaking through. "What's your name?" she asked gently. The boy didn't answer. "I'm not here to hurt you. Or them." He looked down at the babies. One of them whimpered softly. Weak. Barely audible. "They're mine," he said suddenly. "I'm their father. So you can't take them." Ngozi blinked. "You're their father?" "Yes." She studied his face. He was lying. But why? Where is their mother? His jaw tightened. Dead. Ngozi's heart twisted. She looked at the babies again. They were so small. Too small. Their faces were pale. Their breathing shallow. And then she saw it. The light from the street lamp caught one baby's face. The tiny eyes opened slightly. Hazel gold. A rare color. Not brown. Not green. A light golden brown ring around the pupils. Ngozi's breath stopped. Her husband had eyes exactly like that. She leaned closer, hands trembling. Behind the baby's left ear, barely visible, was a tiny crescent-shaped birthmark. Ngozi's world tilted. Emeka had that same mark. "Madam, we need to go," Musa said urgently. But Ngozi couldn't move. She stared at the babies, her mind racing. It couldn't be. Could it? She reached out slowly. The boy flinched back. "I'm not taking them," she whispered. I need to see." The boy hesitated. Then, carefully, he shifted one baby toward the light. Ngozi touched the baby's tiny hand. Soft. Cold. She looked behind the ear. The crescent birthmark. Clear. Unmistakable. She pulled back, her heart pounding. "Bring them into the car," she said, standing quickly. "Madam." "Now, Musa. Now." Her voice was sharp. Final. The boy looked terrified. "No police. Please. No police." Ngozi turned to him. Her eyes were different now. Softer. But firm. "No police. I promise. But those babies are dying. I can see it. You know it too." The boy looked down. One baby's lips were turning slightly blue. He nodded slowly. Musa opened the back door. The boy climbed in carefully, clutching the babies like they might disappear. Ngozi slid in beside him. "Hospital," she ordered. "The private one on Admiralty. Fast." The convoy moved. Inside the warm car, the boy shivered violently. Ngozi pulled off her cashmere scarf and wrapped it around the babies. "What are their names?" she asked softly. The boy's voice cracked. "Kayamaka and Chinidu." Ngozi closed her eyes. Igbo names. Like her late husband's family. The hospital was quiet at midnight. Private. Expensive. Ngozi carried one baby herself. The boy refused to let go of the other. Nurses rushed forward with blankets and warm bottles. A doctor arrived within minutes. Dr. Adiz, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes. "Bring them to the exam room," she said calmly. Ngozi followed. The boy stayed close, his eyes darting around like a trapped animal. Dr. Adiz worked quickly. Thermometers. Stethoscopes. 4 lines prepared. "Severe dehydration," she said quietly. "Hypothermia. There may be 3 weeks old." "How long have they been outside?" The boy didn't answer. Dr. Adiz looked at Ngozi. "Are you family?" Ngozi hesitated. I found them. On the street." The doctor's expression didn't change. "I need to know their medical history." "Their parents." "Their mother is dead," the boy said suddenly. Dr. Adiz turned to him. "And their father?" The boy looked at Ngozi. Then down. "I don't know where he is." Dr. Adiz studied them both carefully. Then she turned back to the babies. "They need to stay overnight. Maybe longer. I'll monitor them closely." Ngozi nodded. "Do whatever they need. Cost doesn't matter." The doctor paused. "Do you know who their father is?" The question hung in the air. Ngozi's hands trembled slightly. "I think," she whispered, "I might." By dawn, the babies were stable. Warm. Federal sleeping peacefully in incubators. Ngozi sat in the waiting room, still in her wet dress. She hadn't gone home. The boy sat across from her, staring at the floor. "What's your name?" she asked again. He looked up slowly. "Chidi." "Chidi." She nodded. "How old are you?" 15. "And you're there." Brother, he admitted quietly. I lied before. I'm their older brother. Same mother. Different fathers. Ngozi leaned forward. Where is your mother now? His voice broke. She died when they were born. Complications. The clinic couldn't save her. I'm sorry. He wiped his eyes quickly. After she died, people came. Family people. They wanted to take the babies. Said they belonged to someone important. But my mother told me before she died, don't let them take the babies. Don't let anyone take them. Ngozi's chest tightened. Why? Because they weren't coming to raise them. They were coming to get rid of them. My mother said the baby's father had powerful family. And they would erase anything that threatened their name. Ngozi stood up slowly. What was your mother's name? Adago. Adago Namdi. Ngozi pulled out her phone and typed the name into her search. Nothing came up. But she knew someone who could find anything. 3 hours later, Ngozi sat in her office. The babies and Chidi were sleeping at her mansion under Dr. Adi's care. Her private investigator, Mr. Ease, sat across from her desk. I need you to find everything about a woman named Adago Namdi. She died about 3 weeks ago. Childbirth. I need to know where she lived. Who she knew. Everything. Mr. Ease nodded. And what are we looking for specifically? Ngozi hesitated. Then she pulled out a photo of her late husband from her drawer. Find out if this man ever knew her. Mr. Ease took the photo. His expression didn't change. Chief Emeka? Yes. Madam, are you sure you want to know? Ngozi's voice was steady. I need to know. He stood. I'll have answers by tonight. After he left, Ngozi sat alone in the silence. She opened her desk drawer and pulled out a folder. Her husband's medical records. From when he'd been treated after a minor accident 2 years before he died. Blood type. DNA sample. All on file at the hospital. She picked up her phone. Dr. Adiz? I need you to run a paternity test. Discreetly. There was a pause. On the babies? Yes. Against who? Ngozi closed her eyes. My late husband. That evening, Ngozi returned to her mansion. It felt different now. Not silent. She could hear soft sounds. A baby's cry. Footsteps. Voices. Chidi sat in the guest room, watching the babies sleep in their cribs. He looked up when she entered. They're okay, he said quietly. The doctor checked them again. Ngozi nodded. She sat down slowly. Chidi, I need you to tell me the truth. Who is their father? He looked away. I don't know. You're lying. He stood up, defensive. I'm not. Chidi. Her voice was firm but gentle. I'm trying to help. But I can't if you lie to me. He sat back down, hands shaking. My mother. She was a teacher. At a primary school in Suralere. She met a man. He was kind to her. Came to visit sometimes. Gave her money. But he was married. Ngozi's heart sank. She didn't want to break his home. She loved him. And when she got pregnant, she didn't tell him at first. But when the babies came, she tried to reach him. She wanted him to know. Did he? Chidi pulled a small envelope from his pocket. She gave me this before she died. Said to keep it safe. He handed it to Ngozi. Inside was a torn photo. A man and a woman. Smiling. Standing in front of a small house. Ngozi's hands froze. The man in the photo was Emeka. Her husband. Ngozi didn't cry. Not yet. She stared at the photo for a long time. Emeka's face. Smiling. Happy. With another woman. She turned the photo over. On the back, in faded ink. E. 2019. 4 years ago. While they were married. Ngozi placed the photo on the table carefully. Where did your mother live? She asked quietly. Suralere. A one-room apartment behind the school. Ngozi stood. I need to see it. An hour later, she stood in a small, cramped room that smelled of old wood and dust. It was empty now. Cleared out. But on the floor, she found a box. Hidden under loose floorboards. Inside, letters. Receipts. Baby clothes. And a note. Emeka, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Please don't let your family hurt them. They're innocent. Protect them. Adago. Ngozi's knees went weak. She sat on the dusty floor. Her husband had lived 2 lives. While she suffered through fertility treatments, through shame, through whispers that she was barren, he had another woman. And children. She didn't cry. But her chest felt like it was caving in. She picked up her phone. Dr. Adiz. Rush the DNA test. I need results tomorrow. Madam, it takes. Tomorrow. The results came the next afternoon. Ngozi sat alone in her office, envelope in hand. She didn't open it immediately. She just held it. If it was positive, everything changed. If it was negative, she could walk away. Forget this. Go back to her controlled, silent life. But she already knew the truth. She opened the envelope. DNA match, 99.97% probability of paternity. Subject, Chief Emeka Okafor, deceased. Subjects, Kayamaka Okafor and Chinedu Okafor, twins. Ngozi placed the paper down carefully. Then she stood. Walked to the window. And finally, she cried. Silent tears. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just grief. Betrayal. Anger. Pity. All at once. She cried for the woman who died. For the babies who almost died. For the boy who carried them through rain and fear. And she cried for herself. For the years of pain. The treatments. The shame. The whispers. All while he had children. Healthy children. With someone else. She wiped her face and turned. Chidi stood in the doorway, holding one of the babies. I heard you crying, he said softly. She didn't hide it. She just nodded. They're his, she said. Your mother was telling the truth. Emeka was their father. Chidi looked down. I'm sorry. You have nothing to be sorry for. She walked over and looked at the baby in his arms. Kayamaka. Tiny. Fragile. Innocent. Ngozi reached out and touched the baby's cheek. She's beautiful, Ngozi whispered. That night, Mr. Ease returned with a full report. Adago Namdi. Age 32. Teacher at Bright Future Primary School. Lived alone with her son Chidi after her first husband died. No criminal record. Quiet life. She was well liked. He placed photos on the desk. Adago smiling. Teaching children. Standing with Chidi. She met Chief Emeka at a school fundraiser 4 years ago. He became a donor. They grew close. She got pregnant 2 years later. When she told him, he promised to help. But he never told you. Ngozi's jaw tightened. Mr. Ease continued. Before she died, she sent him a message. Told him about the birth. The complications. Asked him to acknowledge the children. Did he respond? No, madam. He died 2 weeks before she gave birth. Car accident. So he never knew they were born. There's more, Mr. Ease said carefully. After Adago died, Chief Emeka's brother, Chief Olu, started asking questions. Searching for the babies. Ngozi looked up sharply. Why? I don't know yet. But he hired people to find them. Chidi has been running ever since. Ngozi stood. Find out why. I need to know what he wants with them. Mr. Ease nodded and left. Ngozi walked to the nursery. Chidi was asleep in a chair. The babies were in their cribs, breathing softly. She stood there watching them. These children. Her husband's children. Not hers by blood. But connected to her by tragedy. She could give them away. Let someone else handle it. Or she could choose them. The next morning, Ngozi made her decision. She called her lawyer, Barrister Obi. I need guardianship papers. For 2 infants and a teenage boy. Madam? Just do it. Full legal custody. I want it done this week. May I ask? No. Just prepare the documents. She hung up and walked to the living room. Chidi was teaching himself to change a diaper. Struggling. The baby kicking. Ngozi smiled slightly. Let me show you. She knelt beside him and demonstrated. Gently. Carefully. Chidi watched, amazed. You know how to do this? I read about it once, she said quietly. When I thought I might have children. He looked at her. I'm sorry. That you couldn't. She paused. Me too. They finished the diaper together. Chidi, she said softly. I want to keep you. All 3 of you. Here. Safe. But I need to know, do you want to stay? His eyes filled with tears. You want us? Yes. But we're not you're theirs, she said, pointing to the babies. And they need you. And I. She swallowed. I think I need you too. Chidi broke down. He cried like he'd been holding it in for months. Ngozi pulled him close. You're safe now. I promise. But safety didn't come easily. 3 days later, black SUVs pulled up to Ngozi's gate. Her security called. Madam, Chief Olu is here. With lawyers. Ngozi's blood went cold. Let them in. Chief Olu Okafor was a large man. Loud. Commanding. He walked into her home like he owned it. 2 lawyers flanked him. 3 cousins behind. Ngozi, he said coldly. We need to talk. She stood in the center of her living room, arms crossed. About what? About the children you're hiding. Silence. I don't know what you're talking about. Chief Olu smiled. Don't play games. Emeka's bastards. The street boy brought them here. We know. Ngozi's voice was ice. They're under my protection. Protection? He laughed. From what? From you. His face darkened. Those children are Emeka's blood. That makes them family. They belong with us. They belong where they're safe. And you think that's with you? A barren woman who couldn't even give my brother a child? The words cut. But Ngozi didn't flinch. Get out of my house. We'll take this to court, one of the lawyers said. You have no legal claim. We're blood family. So am I, Ngozi said quietly. I was his wife. Chief Olu stepped closer. Choose wisely, Ngozi. The board. The press. Your reputation. We can destroy all of it. Or you can hand them over quietly. Ngozi smiled coldly. Try. The next day, headlines exploded. Widow hides CEO's secret babies. Billionaire's double life exposed. Photos of Ngozi leaving the hospital. Chidi in the background. The board called an emergency meeting. Investors demanded explanations. Ngozi sat in the boardroom, calm. Prepared. This is a personal matter, she said firmly. It's affecting the company, one board member snapped. Shares are dropping. Then buy more. Madam Ngozi, with respect. I don't need your respect, she said, standing. I need your trust. And if you can't give it, resign. No one moved. She left the room. Later, Barrister Obi arrived with papers. Guardianship is ready. But madam, if you sign this, you're declaring war. I know. Chief Olu has filed a counterclaim. He's saying you're unstable. Exploiting the situation. Ngozi picked up the pen. And what do we have? DNA proof. Medical records. Witness statements from Chidi. Then we fight. She signed every document. When she finished, she looked at Barrister Obi. I'm also updating my will. The children are my primary beneficiaries. His eyes widened. Madam. Do it. That night, she held Kayamika in her arms. The baby looked up at her with those hazel gold eyes. Ngozi whispered, I won't let them take you. I promise. Behind her, Chidi watched. For the first time in weeks, he smiled. The court date arrived faster than expected. The room was packed. Journalists. Board members. Chief Olu and his lawyers. Ngozi sat calmly, Barrister Obi beside her. Chidi sat in the back, watching. The judge entered. Everyone stood. This is a guardianship dispute, the judge began. The petitioner, Mrs. Ngozi Okafor, seeks legal custody of 3 minors. The respondents, Chief Olu Okafor and family, contest this claim. Chief Olu's lawyer stood. Your Honor, Mrs. Okafor is exploiting a tragedy. These children are not hers. She has no biological connection. She's using them to fill a void. Barrister Obi stood. Your Honor, biology is not the only measure of family. Mrs. Okafor rescued these children from death. She provided medical care, shelter, and love. The DNA test confirms they are her late husband's children, making her their legal stepmother. Stepmother to bastards, Chief Olu muttered. The judge's gavel slammed. Watch your language. Barrister Obi continued. Furthermore, we have evidence that the respondent's interest in these children is not parental, it's financial. He placed documents on the table. 2 weeks ago, Chief Olu filed a secret will. Claiming his late brother left everything to the family, not his wife. That will was forged. The courtroom erupted. Chief Olu stood. That's a lie. Is it? Barrister Obi pulled out another document. This is the original will. Filed 3 years ago. Everything goes to Mrs. Ngozi Okafor. The judge reviewed the papers carefully. This is serious, he said. Chief Olu's lawyer scrambled. Your Honor. But the damage was done. The judge ordered a 2-week recess for investigation. Outside the courthouse, cameras swarmed. Ngozi walked past them, head high. One reporter shouted, "Are you doing this for love or money?" She stopped. Turned. "I'm doing this because it's right." She got into her car. Back at the mansion, Chidi was waiting. What happened? We exposed them, Ngozi said. They tried to erase you. To steal everything. But we have proof. Chidi sat down slowly. My mother, she told me to keep something safe. I didn't understand before. He pulled out a small voice recorder. She made this before she died. In the hospital. I was too scared to listen. Ngozi took it carefully. Should we play it? Chidi nodded. She pressed play. A weak, pained voice filled the room. My name is Adago Namdi. I'm recording this because I might not survive. The babies, Their father is Chief Emeka Okafor. I loved him. But he had another life. I don't blame him. I need the truth known. If his family comes for my children, don't let them. They don't want to raise them. They want to erase them. Protect them. Please. They deserve to live. The recording ended. Ngozi and Chidi sat in silence. Then Ngozi stood. We're taking this to court. 2 weeks later, the courtroom was even more crowded. The judge returned. I've reviewed all evidence. The forged will. The financial records. And now, there's new evidence? Barrister Obi stood. Yes, Your Honor. A voice recording from the late mother, Adago Namdi. He played it for the court. The room was silent as Adago's voice filled the space. When it ended, Chief Olu's face was pale. The judge looked at him. Do you have anything to say? Chief Olu's lawyer tried to object. But there was nothing left to say. The judge spoke firmly. Based on DNA evidence, witness testimony, and the clear intent of the biological mother, I am granting full legal guardianship to Mrs. Ngozi Okafor. The courtroom erupted in applause. Ngozi closed her eyes, tears streaming down her face. Chidi ran forward and hugged her tightly. But outside the courthouse, chaos struck. One of the babies, Chinedu, suddenly began coughing. Gasping. Dr. Adiz, who had been present, rushed forward. He's not breathing properly. We need a hospital now. Ngozi's heart stopped. She grabbed the baby, running to the car. The convoy raced through Lagos traffic, sirens blaring. Inside the car, Ngozi held Chinedu, whispering, "Stay with me. Please. Stay with me." At the hospital, doctors rushed the baby into emergency care. Ngozi collapsed in the waiting room. For the first time in years, she broke down completely. Loud, desperate crying. Chidi held her hand. "He'll be okay," he whispered. "He has to be," she sobbed. "I can't lose him. Not now." 3 hours later, Dr. Adiz emerged. "He's stable. It was a respiratory infection. Stress triggered it. But he's going to be fine." Ngozi nearly collapsed with relief. She rushed to the room. Chinedu lay in a small bed, oxygen mask on his tiny face, eyes closed. Ngozi sat beside him, holding his little hand. "I'm here," she whispered. "I'm not going anywhere." Chidi and Kayamika entered quietly. The family was together. A week later, Ngozi held a small press conference. Not for drama. For closure. "I am establishing the Adago Namdi Foundation," she announced. "To support single mothers, orphans, and children at risk. In honor of a woman who loved her children more than anything." She paused, looking at the cameras. "Blood may start a story. But love is what makes a family. These children are mine now. Not because I gave birth to them. But because I chose them. And they chose me." Reporters clapped. Later that night, at home, Ngozi sat in the nursery. Chidi was doing homework. The twins were sleeping peacefully. She looked around at her once silent mansion. Now it was full. Full of noise. Full of life. Full of love. She picked up Kayamika gently, rocking her. "Your mother was a good woman," she whispered. "I'll make sure you know that. I'll tell you about her. About your father. The truth. All of it." The baby yawned softly. Ngozi smiled through tears. "And I'll love you. Every day. For the rest of my life." Chidi looked over. "Thank you. For everything." Ngozi shook her head. "No. Thank you. You saved them. You protected them when no one else would." He smiled. Outside, rain began to fall again. But inside, everything was warm. Blood may start a story, but love is what makes a family. And when powerful people try to erase the innocent for inheritance, truth will always find a courtroom and a conscience. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. Where are you watching from?